being assigned as principal of Carter G. Woodson, the first thing I thought of was, why me? This was a particular school that had been low performing in the history of school grades, and it was a school that had a lot of negative stereotypes associated with it, meaning not only was the school low performing, but the community in which the school is located is also low performing. The community in which the school is located, of course, naturally has the highest homicide rate, the highest infant mortality rate, the highest foreclosure rate, the highest number of students who are living in a household with a grandparent. So I was pretty much given the task of moving the school. And again, this was a school in which for 10, 12, 15 years had been low performing. The first thing I recognized, though, after walking through the doors was that it was a school that had been pretty much labeled. After speaking with the children and meeting with the parents, I recognized that this was a school that pretty much had lost all of its hopes, dreams, aspirations based on those negative stereotypes that had been associated with the school. So I recognized that we really needed to focus on rituals and routines, structure, organization, and we needed to make sure that we had all systems in order. And with that meant we wanted to make sure that when the students came to school every day, that this was an environment in which they would be able to feel comfortable and that they knew that it would remain constant and that they would have dedicated teachers who want to be here and who are committed to helping them learn. The second thing that we recognized that we needed to focus on after we got the systems and order in place was that we recognized that we needed to focus on highly effective teaching and belief systems. And then with the highly effective teaching, the two things that we really focused in on were inquiry-based learning and active cognitive engagement. It's one thing for students to be sitting in class and being passively compliant, but it's another thing in which they're engrossed and engaged in conversation, reference, research, and again, for whatever reason, there was a myth that these children can't do these things. However, we recognize that they could do it. So as a result, we have implemented those belief systems. We also worked on our own personal belief systems in which we recognized that in order for us to ensure that the children were going to be successful, we had to believe that they were going to be successful. It's one thing to be able to say all children can learn, but it's another thing to be able to say that I expect all of the children in my classroom to learn, regardless of their race, regardless of their economic background, regardless of the fact that they may have a disability, an educational disability. Regardless, we're going to make sure that these children show growth every single year. After we began to see positivity associated with our newfound belief system and the new way in which we were teaching, we then realized that we felt as though we had the tool in order to ensure that the children would be successful, and it has been. Our school has done nothing but just done positive things since we accepted and embraced those new belief systems and teaching strategies, and we have actually increased our school grade from a failing grade to now we're one of the highest performing schools in the state. So we've gone from an F to an A. We are also a school in which we have other teachers from the district, other educators from the community who actually come over to the school because they want to be able to see what is it that you're doing and how is it that you've been so effective. And they also want to make sure that they take that information back to their faculty and staff. In addition to that, we have been featured in a book. We actually were studied by a profound, distinguished professor, and she has written a book, and it's called Inquiring to the Common Core, and it really focuses on our school and again how we have grown from a failing school to now one of the highest performing schools in the state. And again, we wouldn't have been able to do that had we not focused on highly effective teaching skills and our belief system.